Nah, we have to change that shit up today. We're bringing the original intro song for our recap episode. Welcome to the Trio of Positivity podcast, where we are recapping week 5 of the Chicago Bears. And this might be a positive episode. Maybe.
No, it's 100%. We are going to do 100% positivity on the first win for the Chicago Bears in almost a year. So there will be no negativity this entire podcast. That's the rule. No negativity.
No
Zero.
negativity. Can't make any promises since I'm dealing with a homer today, but that's okay. We're going to kick it off by saying that the Chicago Bears on primetime Thursday Night Football demolished the Washington Commanders 40-20. The game almost felt like it was over at halftime, but because we were Bear fans, it really wasn't over until like 9 minutes of the fourth quarter.
I thought you were going to sorry to cut you off. I thought you were going to say that it almost felt like a dream, because realistically it kind of did. Those first 3 drives when we had 17 points, and I was like, wait, am I sleeping?
I believe I got called out one time in the group chat that we had, that I said the Bears should have scored consecutive drives, and they're like, it's the Chicago Bears, they don't do that. The Bears scored in their first 5 drives of the game, and you guys are telling me that this team could not do it. They could finally do it. We do have to kick off though with some kind of sad news. Last night, Dick Butkus passed away. He was definitely helping the team out. He was definitely someone that Chicago Bear fans love. There was a clip out there on Twitter in where they were showing like his best moments on the field. There was an interception that he caught, and he taunted the player by showing him the ball that he caught it before he started running. So shout out to him. Rest in peace. And
he is a legend.
He's a legend.
He's a legend throughout Chicago. He grew up here. He went to U of I. So he's definitely one of those staples in the Chicago Bears franchise. That's for sure, right up there with Walter Payton.
Yes. And so we thank him for the help that we got last night. And now let's go ahead and talk about the game a little bit. Before we start, let's get into some stats, shall we? Justin Fields went 15 of 29 for 282 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which is fantastic. DJ Moore, 8 receptions of 10 targets for 230 total yards with 3 touchdowns. And Komet, who went 5 receptions, 5 targets for 42 yards and a touchdown. We are going to touch into some injuries that occurred. Obviously, Khalil Herbert was one. He was having a game.
Yeah, before we move on, you're moving on too quickly. You're not focusing on the important things here.
What's the important things to focus on?
First of all, Justin Fields, first QB in Bears history to throw 3 TDs in the first half in back-to-back games. So mark that down, Mr. Trubisky fan. I know you're all up in Trubisky's nuts because he has the best accuracy in Bears history, but guess what? Fields is now on that board of making history with the Bears. On top of that,
not accurate though. Still not accurate.
It is. On top of that, we're going to talk about the fake stat of the week that has been going around social media.
What's the fake stat of the week?
That Fields is tied for the lead in TD passes. While it is true, he also has one more game than everybody else. So is it really true? Like,
it is not.
Can you really sit here and say that when the entire rest of the NFL hasn't played a game? Fake stat of the week right there. But yes, him and DJ Moore went off. DJ was looking great out there. But I just wanted to touch on those historic pieces before we move on, because Justin balled out, that's for
For
sure.
those listening on the podcast, we are actually recording live on Facebook. We will try to read a couple comments here and there to see what we have going on throughout the live stream. So if you want to join us, we will be doing this for almost all of the Bears games afterwards and see what we kind of get. So once you got that fake stuff out of the way, Miller, what do you think of Fields' performance, huh?
Man, it was nerve-wracking in the sense that there was so much being built up for this game, right? Fields came out against Denver, had a historic game for him, right? It's the first 300-yard game he's thrown. It's first time he's thrown 4 TDs in a game. Like, he came out looking so good against Denver, but we choked at the end. Some people would say it's a good 4th down call. I do not. I think it was trash. You got to take the points there. You're at home. Come on. We're not going to dwell on that, though. But there was so much buildup for this game, and to see Fields come out right off the bat, not only did the Bears come in, win the coin toss, and they said, fuck the analytics, we're going to take the ball, and then Fields drove it right down their throat and scored points on that first drive. It was impressive to watch from the start. Like you mentioned, 5 drives, 5 scores in that first half, and it was literally like a freaking dream, man, watching this play. And it's just like, this is what we've expected the whole time. He's making decisions quickly. He's using his eyes to move the safety. He's doing things that actual quarterbacks are supposed to do. And it's weird to see from Justin because we haven't really seen it yet. But we got a glimpse of it. This is 2 games in a row. And it's just like, now everybody in Chicago is thinking Super Bowl for the Bears, right?
Okay. Stop. The one thing I need to kind of calm your tits on here is Justin Fields threw
100% positive.
Well, he threw for 282 yards. Do you know how many yards DJ Moore had after the catch?
It was a lot.
It was 143. So realistically, Fields threw 139 yards.
Total or just to DJ Moore?
Total. If you would subtract the yards after catch for DJ Moore alone, Fields threw 139.
But you can't. I mean, that's negativity. You get that shit out.
No. That's not negativity at all. Listen, you wanted to bring up Mitch.
You also have
Trubisky
to
here.
understand. You also have to understand if Fields makes a bad throw and Moore has to dive for it or takes him out of bounds, that's going to cut down on that stat. The fact of the matter is, a lot of times Fields hit him in stride, and DJ was able to move and run.
Are we forgetting that one that he almost overthrew and DJ Moore made a spectacular grab to keep it in? Let's not act like all of this was perfect. Come on now.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna, yes, we're being positive. If you're gonna sit here and say that DJ gets credit for all of the yards after the catch, you have to acknowledge that sometimes some of the throws Justin's made were on point.
Sometimes, but not all the time. But continuing with the positivity, even though we had injuries, the O-line looked decent.
The O-line looked great. Did you see the ratings of the O-line?
I did not.
Surprisingly, the top-ranked offensive lineman, do you want to take a gander?
Kansas City.
For this game, you idiot.
Oh, for this game. You didn't say that.
What are we talking about? You want to fucking go talk about the whole NFL?
I honestly would give it to Whitehair, but he went to center. So what do you got?
I think he was the lowest rated, and the fact that you would give him to Whitehair. I mean, yes, he switched. That's not points. Did you see the snaps that he did? He was awful.
There were some,
but the highest rated offensive lineman was actually the highest rated player on the second highest rated player on the team besides DJ Moore. That was Tevin Jenkins. He came in after 4 weeks out on the IR, gets thrown into the game, and he's the highest rated offensive lineman for our team. Yeah. So it was pretty impressive. The offensive line definitely stepped up in this game. They gave Fields time to make the plays that he needed, specifically in the first half. Now, you can sit here and argue maybe Washington just wasn't up to snuff. They weren't ready to play because they came out in the second half and they were starting to pressure Fields, unlike the first. But you know what? There's two halves in football. The fact that Eberflus might have gotten his team more ready to play than Ron Rivera, that's props to Eberflus. And so it's like they were ready to go, and they dominated that defensive line basically the whole first half. So props to them.
I think that's something that we can discuss on the next episode. There's a lot of talk coming about Ron Rivera and how that team basically pulled out a stinker, given the last game that they played. But we're going to go ahead and just keep our focus on the Chicago Bears. One thing that I did want to discuss with you, which we've been talking about it a lot throughout our podcast, it was the ability to have the right play calls for Fields. We saw it in the first couple of weeks where he wasn't comfortable. There was some designed runs on this play or on this game that it kind of opened everything up for Fields. And because the line was actually giving him time, he was still making his progression throws very well. I think Thursday Night Football has the ability to like have stats on Amazon, and it showed that Fields under 3 seconds was actually completing all his passes. Like, he was very comfortable in that pocket. So as much as people don't want to credit it, credit has to go to the offensive coordinator. Something must have occurred, or it's been a progression of 2 weeks where they're seeing, okay, this is what you're comfortable doing with, and this is what you're not comfortable. But you can kind of tell there's some plays in there that the offensive coordinator wants to kind of just throw in, and that pisses me off. But what did you think about the play calling this week?
Well, I know your favorite play was the screen to DJ Moore. That got to have been up there, right? No, it's funny the way they're doing things. There's a lot more movement going on pre-snap, right? There's a lot more wide receivers moving, running backs moving across the line to try to screw up the defense a little more. That seems to be helping. We've seen that uptick in those types of plays the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned with Amazon and the stats, I think when I was watching it said that Fields was getting the ball out in 2.7 seconds. And that's like, I feel like that's pretty close to league average, which is kind of surprising because the first 3 games he has really first 3. Yeah. He hasn't been getting it out that quick. So that's definitely a piece of positivity there. But the play calling as a whole, man, whatever they did, whatever they're doing, it's working. Whether
I'll say it. Someone's listening to our podcast.
I think
we've been saying it for a while. Get Komet involved. Whatever you have to do, get Komet involved and get DJ Moore involved.
Barely. Okay, there you go. Like, barely was involved. Like, he had a few targets, but DJ Moore was the star of the show. That's for damn sure. So
listen,
and they're targeting him.
Keep it, I guess I know we're trying to be positive. I get it. I know, but there is some stuff that we have to kind of talk about here. It's the injuries that occurred.
Okay, injuries aren't necessarily positive or negative. It's factual information. So I will allow you to talk about it. It
still feels bad, but there is one positive that came out of the injuries. Khalil Herbert had a nasty injury. The fact that he was able to walk and try to get back in the game. He did one cut. He did one cut and said nope, and then he went back to the bench. Whoever let that man on the field should have a talking to.
Dude, personally. We didn't have a running back. We literally did not have another running back.
What do you mean? Like, Blasting game held that fucking running. I know he's a fullback. I
think they said multiple times that he never had a carry in his life.
And he had 8 carries. He had 8 carries and he ran for 6. That was his longest. The man was our glue. He kept this team together, damn it. And I'm telling you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He came out and performed admirably.
He's like, y'all need a running back. I got you. That's basically what the conversation was. But there was a couple injuries.
We're focusing on positivity, so we're not going to talk about the reason why Khalil Herbert got injured. Right? We're gonna scan past that. We're just gonna keep moving.
We'll go ahead and skim past that. But as we said earlier, Whitehair had to switch to center, and holy shit, there was like 2 snaps.
Oh, no, it was more than 2, dude. It was all over the place.
There was 2 where Fields had to literally had one hand up. Whatever the play call was, it wasn't a run. But what did Fields do? Ran.
That was impressive. That was a big play in this game. Yes. Even the announcers, Herb Street mentioned it. Like, that ball was, he not only reached up, he jumped. That
Mhm.
ball was probably 5 feet over Fields' head, and Fields luckily got a hand on it and brought it down. He didn't fumble it. He actually caught it and controlled it, and instead of running the play, he just ran up the middle, and that was theoretically could have been a turnover, could have at least been a sack of a loss of probably 10 yards, but Fields gained 8 yards on that play. That was a huge play because it was towards the end of the game.
That was huge. And with that, I think we're ready for some positives. I think we're
We're
ready
already
to
talking positives.
Well, you know what? If we are already talking positives, there's one positive that I want to give out. You may not
This
like
whole
it.
show's positives. Like I said, no
You may not
negativity
like
today.
it, but I think our listeners will appreciate it. We have to thank the additional players on the field for the Chicago Bears. Shout out to the refs. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Chicago Bears fans, we're gonna
Okay,
get you jerseys.
let's
Hold on, let me
talk.
finish.
Let's talk.
Let me finish. Thank you very much to the refs for giving the Chicago Bears their first win in the 2023 calendar year. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here where we are. Miller, go ahead. What would you like to say?
No, I want to hear reasoning. Go. Why? What did they do that was so egregious that handed the game to the Bears?
Are we not going to talk about the pass interference at the end zone? That was clearly pass interference.
I mean, there was pass interference multiple times on both sides.
No, not as bad as the one where they picked up the flag and said it wasn't pass interference.
Fair. I will agree. But did Mooney not get interfered with on his ball? He was getting hit in the end zone too.
Not as bad as outrageous the other two calls that were.
I mean, that was yes, I'll agree with you. That was probably a pass interference. But at the end of the day, Lance Stevenson was that right? No, that doesn't sound right. Stevenson,
that's a basketball player.
I know. I was.
We're so positive. We're already switching to basketball.
I think his name is Stevenson. I did a fucking whole thing on him, a segment. But our cornerback, he was in his area, right? And the only reason that could have been pass interference is if he interfered with him getting over to the ball. So I see how that is a little more judgment of a call rather than interfering and grabbing on the player or tackling the guy before he could catch the ball. So
Yeah,
while
but-
yes, I agree with what you're saying and the fact that he did interfere with that, but he was also in his own lane. It's not like he was on top of grabbing the wide receiver.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You know, the new rules now is that if you run into the guy without looking at the ball, that should be a flag.
But that's a stupid
I don't
rule.
know. I mean, but it's a rule. Like, it is what it is. My thing is too, though, is I wonder what the conversation was had. I think one of the refs said exactly what you were saying, in which the receiver was kind of turned a little bit, right? If I remember the play, I'm kind of just thinking it off the top of my head. The receiver kind of did a turn, and the defensive player did not see the turn, and so when he's just looking at him, like they kind of just do one of these little touches, and then when he does that, the defender kind of turns around.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind the ref for Amazon came out and said that he wouldn't call it pass interference. Now, if you want to listen to a college analyst, you can listen to Kirk Herbstreit. But you know what? I'm going to take my votes for the actual ref. But other than that, I mean, there was a lot of calls both ways. I heard some people complaining about the fact that the Bears were getting away with a lot of holdings. Yes, maybe that could be true as well.
Yes.
But, I mean, there's something to be said for letting them play.
The other positive I want to bring in is the defense came in with 5 sacks, an interception. It was great to see the sacks.
Fumble.
I mean, the fumble recovery. Yeah. That was actually an interesting timing on my end. Because I was watching, I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, and thank God it wasn't recorded. So I'm good for that. But there was a point where the defense, and I think our coach has actually you have to give credit to our coach. He is disguising the blitzes so much better.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you wonder if this was like a complete overhaul of his defensive scheme or how it works, because he really is. He's having 6 people up in the box, dropping 2 and bringing 2 safeties in from the secondary or stuff like that.
Mhm.
He's really just mixing up the blitz. And it's weird because he doesn't typically blitz. So not
Right.
only is he blitzing, he's also mixing up the blitzes. So it's like,
But there's confidence in the blitz, like kind of how you were saying. I remember, and again, I hate bringing up Lovie Smith so much because it was so many years back, but there was a defense where Urlacher, Briggs, they would always be up. I don't know if they would be right up onto the quarterback. As soon as the play went, they would go back. But because they were putting up that much pressure, it let like the corner come in. I felt a little bit of that this game. But the one thing that does scare me, and again, I'm trying to be positive, but our secondary is still a work in progress. Even though they had a good game.
no, it's not a work in progress. It's Chris now, right? I can call you Chris.
Can you?
Well, you said Chris at the
Did
beginning.
I don't know.
Chris, CJ, whatever. It's not a work in progress. 3 of our guys are out. Kyler Gordon's out, Eddie Jackson's out, and Jalen Johnson's out. I mean, you can't sit here and say it's a work in progress. We have injuries, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, don't sit here and rip the secondary when they're down 3 starters.
Listen, if you're being played on the team, it's next man up.
I get
there's no
that.
excuse. Yeah, so
I get that.
don't give excuses.
But don't
be
give
a
it
homer. Don't be a homer.
Don't give it a
and give
negative
excuses.
grade or
I am
start
not-
complaining about their
I
skill
said-
set when you're dealing with
again, I
a bunch
said
of rookies.
a work in progress. That's what I said.
It's not a work in progress.
You wanted me to be positive. This is me trying my best to be positive. It was
It's
a
basically
work in progress.
It's basically a project on hold if you want to grade it, because it's on hold until the whole team gets back together, which will hopefully be in week 6, right?
Week 6, yeah.
But before we move on, the one thing we haven't touched on the defense, which we need a round of applause. They held a team under 25 points. Come on. Well, come on. Even though I thought for a minute there that they were going to blow it, but they did it. They held them to 20 points, which is the first time in 14 games. Oh God, it's so sad. But hey, they stepped up. They got it done despite the injuries to their secondary.
No one cares. But thanks again to the Washington Commander kicker who missed a field goal on the back end. I think that was probably the turning point, even though the Bears did have the lead. The one thing I can say that I want to just continue adding positives to, the offense these last 2 games have had really good time management on their side. They've held the ball more than the opposite team. Do you think that's more of a Justin effect, or do you think it's more of like, hey, we kind of need to like slow things down for everyone? Because I don't recall the first 3 weeks where it almost felt like we had control, even though stats might say we had more ball control. These last 2 games, it felt a lot more noticeable.
I think that's because they're actually moving the ball, and I think they're actually converting third downs. We didn't really see that the first 3 weeks. So I think we actually have sustainable long drives, which is why you're noticing it more. Obviously, we may have had that in Kansas City in garbage time, but realistically, we really haven't had like these long drives like we've had. Like even in this game yesterday, like we probably had our first 5 drives. Like you're sure of them, some of them were field goals, but like the touchdown drives were substantial. They were probably like 70 yards, right? Like, so they were significant. So you're getting into that rhythm. You're moving the ball. It makes it seem better. And it's good football all around.
Looking at the stats from ESPN, which it's something that even just us talking about it, I didn't realize. It felt like the Bears had the time of possession. And I just looked right now. The Bears had 30 minutes and 4 seconds of possession. Washington had 29 and 56 seconds. So there was only a 4-second difference. But it didn't feel like that. It felt like the Bears had more control. And not only that, Washington had 23 first downs compared to the Bears 18, but that's because we scored more. So like,
but we had the big plays. made the
Yeah.
big plays, right?
Yeah.
And they
Looking at
and obviously towards the end in the second half, they were doing a lot of short passes because the Bears were playing a lot of prevent, which we know we love. It's not like
we love, yeah.
we were sweating in the third quarter or anything as the Washington comes out of halftime and scores 11 unanswered points, and it's
That
a
was scary.
2-score game. It was very scary.
The
Very
Bears'
scary.
third down efficiency was 7 out of 15, and they were 1-1 on fourth downs. I did see a lot of quarterbacks.
Push, baby. Push.
Even in the Amazon broadcast, they confused Fields for
Hurts.
and I don't like it. There were some runs that I didn't like Fields taking, but I get why he was doing it.
I personally, when Fields runs, I think he's doing a lot better job of focusing on getting to the sideline. And I think a lot of the designed runs have him do that. But he also gets this bull rush in him where he goes straight at the defensive back or the defensive lineman. And it's just like, I don't like that at all because that's how concussions happen or that's how you get hurt. And I'm just like, oh.
Also, it puts your lineman in a position. Your center basically just has to snap and fall straight down. There's really no protection there for the center, so it's kind of something that I wish that they didn't have to do. But I think the more success that they get with
I don't know. I do like the tush push, but I feel like in some of these situations, it's such a judgment call to how far the ball actually gets. But
yeah,
hey, we got it done.
So, rounding off this this episode, we are going to go ahead and give our update on this game as far as the positivity goes. Miller, start us off. What would you say is your positivity rating on the Chicago Bears after they get their first win in 2023?
I can't get too high on it, even though I'm going to talk a big talk. I still can't get too high on it. I think I was a 1.5 last week, 1.5. I think I'm going to move that up to a 2. We're going to be at a 2.
Wow. Okay.
Remember, I'm the realist when it comes to homer teams and ratings, unlike yours inflated. A 7 is average, which doesn't make fucking any sense in the world. So I'm going to say at a 2 right now. We got our first win in almost a year, which is sad. So I'm not going to be too overconfident, but I see a lot of steps being taken. So I want to increase my positivity score a little bit. Next week against the Vikings at home, that'll be a test, man. If we can come out again, dude, I don't know. What's your positive score before we get after to the schedule?
So, as you guys know, I don't like the homers that I deal with all the time. So I have to be the true heart and soul and the voice of the voiceless. They got their first win. I'm at a 1. I was trying to get to 0.
What were you at last week?
I was at negative.
Oh, yeah,
it wasn't approved. It was discussed and it wasn't approved. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, and I think we can kind of divulge into it on our next episode. Mooney didn't get a catch, but he got targeted early. Like there's some good stuff that we can kind of talk about what happened this game.
Yeah, we had 3 receivers that whole game, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah. And so what I will say though, and you said it last time, the Denver Broncos was a team the Bears should have beat because they were absolute dog shit, and the Broncos still took one in. This Washington team has 2 wins. They were competitive last week against Philadelphia, and they shit the bed. Why that happened, I don't know. Given what occurred with Butkus, I think that had something to do where, hey, everyone has eyes on us. Let's go out there and perform. I will give total credit to Justin Fields and DJ Moore on this game and a little bit to the coaching staff. Thank you for giving us... Thank God this was a Thursday game. You know why? Because now we can ride the whole week plus.
The high, yeah. We only had to deal with Denver for a short period of time, but now we're in a high.
We're on a high. Claypool, breaking news, was traded for 2 Snickers and a Twinkie.
Basically.
And so like he's out ever since the he hasn't been playing. The Bears are 1-1, I believe, right? Because he did not play with the Broncos. Does this stop the trade talks? Does this stop all of the commotion that was
I
happening
think
with
it
the Bears?
has to. Obviously, I think this buys them probably 2 or 3 more weeks. I think it
Wow.
buys them to the bye, right? I think there's 2 more weeks until the bye week. I think I'm right on that.
Let me check for you real
I
quick.
think we have Minnesota, and then we have the Raiders, and then we have a bye week.
No, actually, Vikings 10-15,
That's what I just
Raiders
said.
10-22, Chargers 10-29, Saints
Oh,
11-5.
okay. So I'm off on that. So we
So
have.
they
Well,
got
I
one,
think
two,
it.
three, four, 5 games, and then bye week, and
And
then
then
the
the
Lions.
bye. Oh, that's a long time for a bye week. But I think it buys them up to the bye, to be honest. Unless they come out and start playing like they did in the first 3 games, I don't personally see that happening. I think it might be an average in the middle, which I think is acceptable. But like I said, when a few weeks ago and reiterated that on Sunday, last Sunday, well, yeah, against Denver, these next 2 games, I think the Bears need to win one of them, and I think they will. I think they'll beat Minnesota or the Raiders. And
Now you don't want to give away too much because we want our listeners to listen to us debate and continue our streak of games predicted during that time. But 1 out of 2 is still not good. Like either way that we look at it, we have
no,
to
it's
now
not. It's not.
change the way that we look at this team. This team is not going to be wins and losses. I hate to say it. This team is going to be what happens with Fields and what happens with the coaching staff. If Fields continues to be good, meaning he's I'll say +1, +2 on the touchdown interception ratio, meaning he
Per
throws 2
game.
touchdowns. Yeah, you're allowed 1 interception. That's all I'm giving you.
2-1. Okay.
2-1, 3-1 would be great. I think 3-1 for Fields would be fantastic. Another 300-yarder, maybe 2 more. I think you have your guy. That's such a low.
That's such a low
such
bar.
a low standard that it buys you another year.
I don't think
That's what
that's the case.
But
I don't.
to be able to say that this team has to win one of 2 games, I don't think this team is capable of doing it just yet. And that's just off of 2 games because there has been questionable decisions still that we can pinpoint, but we're going to be positive, so we're not going to bring those up. We'll touch a little bit on them on the next episode. One being the screens, and there were some design runs that I just did not like.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting because we have Carolina's pick, and if that turns out to be number 1, it'll be very interesting. That's where this dilemma comes in. I think the Bears are on a trajectory where they're not going to be the second worst team in the league. I think based on what we've seen these last 2 games, I think they're going to scrap and claw to maybe 5 wins. Now, is that great? No, it's not. Is that what we thought at the beginning of the year? No, it's not. They definitely underachieved. I will agree to that, but I think based on the explosiveness of this offense and the effect that DJ Moore has, I think we're going to win a few games that they're probably going to be top 5, but I don't think they're going to be number 1. But you know what? Carolina has looked god awful. Bryce Young looks like the worst quarterback in this class right now. So if they are the worst team in the league, it'll be interesting to see what the Bears do. Not gonna lie. And I think Fields is going to need to have more games like this, maybe 5 or 6 more games like this to cement his place on this team.
I think so. I think that's something you and I can actually agree on because even though you guys know I do harp a lot on Fields, Miller knows this. I want him to be successful, but a lot of the stuff that has occurred with the Bears and Fields has not been something that we can all agree. Like it's not a trajectory that we are comfortable with. However, we did have a question on the stream. Only other Bears quarterback to throw back-to-back 4 touchdown games he put in the answer, but did you know that Jay Cutler was the last one to do it?
I would have guessed Cuddy just because he's a gunslinger. I mean, he was like probably the best quarterback that we had that actually threw the ball consistently. I would have probably guessed him.
Now
But
the question is, does Fields throw 4 touchdowns against the Vikings?
wait, what was the question?
The last quarterback to throw back.
Only other QB to throw back to back because
Yeah.
Fields just did it. He just did it with Denver and then with us.
He threw 3.
Here.
I thought it was
4.
3 with Denver. Hold on.
It was 4 with Denver.
Don't mind me. I am just checking.
You can check, but it was 4. That's what he said. He said the only other Bears QB.
I missed one. Oh, you're. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he did throw 4. Wilson threw 3. That's
So
okay. So him and Cuddy. That's crazy. Now that I understand and I actually know how to read English and it was explained to me, that's very interesting to say. Kind of sad, but
no, 4 touchdowns is a lot. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think
the years between it took.
I mean, 4 touchdowns is a lot in 2 games. It's interesting to see that we haven't got a running score in the last 2 games. Well, this one we did, but like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's fun, man. It's fun. It's happy. The whole city's happy, and it did it in prime time again. Let's just hope we can continue. Let's hope this offense can continue to be fun. And the great thing about this offense that we didn't have last year is Fields is actually throwing the ball. He's not just running for 120 yards a game. He's actually doing it with his arm rather than his legs. And that's something we can build upon.
I want to touch on that on Wednesday's episode, Miller. Please remind me. At this point, do we need more rushing from Fields, or can that kind of just be a Fields, if you have to run, but not like something where it's expected of him, where it's like he goes through his progressions and he's done and is like,
are we really gonna bring this up and not talk about it right now?
I mean,
this is ideal Fields in my world.
Really?
50 yards, 60 yards on the ground, 300 yards in the air. Ideal Fields. MVP Fields. I will go out there and say that. MVP Fields.
Until I see more consistency, I think 2 games is a great start. We'll see how it goes.
Of course. I'm just saying, if he did this consistently, he would be in the MVP conversation. About averaging 300 yards and running for 60. I don't know. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but that's going to be some pretty good stats right there. Not to mention the touchdowns. He's leading the league. But yes, this is ideal to me. I don't want to see 100 yards, but I don't want to see 10. I want to see 40 to 60 range with a solid 250 passing. That's what he's getting, and that's what he's showing that he can do, which is the bright spot, which is why we're having this conversation.
If the Bears beat the teams they have to beat, this will be something that I'll be very happy, because if Minnesota loses, the Bears will be tied with Minnesota at 1-4, which means that the next game will be for 3rd place in the division, and they're only a couple wins away from actually being competitive in the division, which is very weird to say.
I know, it's sad. And the worst thing in the world is the fact that we lost to Denver, because we could be 2-3 right now. And it is a pretty bad division. I think Detroit will pull away. I think they're good enough, but 2-3 would be really nice, and it would put to sleep a lot of the issues that we had in the first 3. And it's just like, the fact that we didn't do that is pretty depressing. But you know what? Like you said, the biggest takeaway for this season is going to be around Fields, and
if the Bears get more wins with Fields playing the way he's playing, I will gladly change and say, hey, the Bears are getting where they need to get. If the Bears are a slow churning team where they start slow and then they boost this fucking improvement out of nowhere, I will gladly be the one to say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. I'm not there yet, but I'm very excited. It was fun watching this game with a couple of friends that I have. I think I'm probably gonna do it again. It was fun reading the group chat. Instead of being homers, they were surprised most of the game, saying, "Where was this team? Where have they been?"
I don't think anybody in Chicago sat there and said, "Oh, this is expected."
Yeah, and the worst part is, my friend was telling me, "Hey, this game is over. Why are you so nervous?" I'm like, "It's the Bears." Being a Chicago fan has taught me it's never over till it's over. Given what happened with Denver the previous week, Washington goes to score 11 unanswered, and then the Bears held, and that's what makes me proud.
Well, they got
That they
pretty damn
held.
lucky.
They got lucky. Thank you to the
It was
refs again.
it was no,
Thanks
not
again.
even the refs. It was just that last throw to DJ, man. Inches from a pick six.
And
So,
inches from throwing out too.
but you know
like,
what? He made tight windows throws. You can't ask for anything more than that. Justin Fields balled out. DJ Moore balled out. That's what we brought him in for. Wide receiver number 1. He could
He's
shoot up to
a
being
true number one. It feels fucking great to say.
He's probably top 10 wide receiver right now. And
Okay,
you know what?
Relax, Homer. Relax. Like it's
Stat wise, bro. Stat wise.
Relax. Relax.
Go look it up. He's got to be top 10.
Listen, I don't do this to me. I told you, I talk with my heart when it comes to the Bears. They've broken my heart previously. I don't want to go in there and find out he's 11th because I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to blame you about it. And the Bears have played one additional game compared to other teams.
I was just about to say this.
Relax.
I was just about to say this. Keep in mind that we've played one additional game than everybody else.
Let's just keep it civil. The Bears, listen, let's just celebrate. The Bears won in 2023. It could have been a chance that the Bears could not have won in a calendar year. So it's very much something that you have to be proud of. You just
DJ Moore is currently number 2 with 531 yards behind Justin Jefferson.
He might be top 10 still by the end of the week. Okay. Thank you.
Number 5 is Keenan Allen at 434. So even if Keenan Allen gets 100 yards this week, he will be 3 yards over him. So theoretically, DJ Moore would still probably be a top 10.
Top 5?
Maybe top 5, but a top 10 for sure wide receiver this week.
Wow. Okay. Well, with that positive note, we're going to go ahead and end the stream and end the podcast recording.
We're going to end it with some negativity. We had some people in our group that didn't like that trade. Yeah. Fuck you.
Wow. You know what? I did my best to make this a positive stream.
And that wasn't a shot at Chris or CJ, whatever you want to go off of. Now am I confused. Wrap it up, baby.
Wrap it up. The Bears have won a game in 2023. We look forward to watching the next game. We will be recording our next episode Wednesday, which will drop on Thursday. If there's any topics that you guys want us to discuss, we are more than welcome to review them on these live streams. Our next live stream will most likely be Sunday night, since the Bears will not this Sunday night, the following Sunday, when they play against the Vikings. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please be sure to reach out to all our socials here live on Facebook at Trio of Positivity, on Twitter /X Trio Pod. And again, thanks for everyone hanging out. Hey, no more sad flute today, huh? Let's just end it with our theme, shall we?
Yes, baby. Hit him.
Thanks again for watching and participating. Thanks to all our chatters. Thank you guys for listening to our episodes. Our episodes are live on Spotify, Apple, everywhere the podcasts are available. Thank you so much. Y'all have a fantastic day. Bear down, baby.